Nexus Station hummed with activity. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through its wide halls. Some had too many arms. Others had no arms at all. Some were tall as trees. Others were small as mice. But they all came to Nexus Station for one thing: to make deals. At the heart of the station sat the bounty board. It was a massive screen that showed the faces of wanted beings from across the galaxy. Hunters came here to find their next target. Today, the board showed a new face. It was an alien with no scales, no tentacles, and no odd-colored skin. It looked plain. It had 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. It had hair on top of its head, and its skin was a light brown color. The name under the picture read, Park, Human, Planet Earth. The bounty amount made everyone stop and stare. 10 million credits, gasped a 3-eyed alien. For that little thing. Cruel, the station's most feared bounty poster, stood nearby. His gray skin was covered in battle scars. One of his 4 eyes was replaced with a metal one that glowed red. He smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. The human is more dangerous than it looks, Cruel said. Much more dangerous. Many hunters walked away, shaking their heads. The bounty was high, but something felt wrong. Humans were not known in the galaxy. Earth was a small planet far from important trade routes. Why would anyone pay so much to catch one? June did not walk away. He stood still, looking at the human's face. June was the best hunter in the sector. His body was part flesh, part machine. Silver lines ran under his skin where his bones had been replaced with metal. His eyes were black orbs that could see in the dark. His right arm ended in fingers that could turn into tools or weapons. "I'll take it," Jun said. Kroll's metal eye focused on him. "Are you sure? This is not a normal hunt." "No hunt is normal," Jun replied, "and no target has escaped me." As Jun turned to leave, his friend Han grabbed his arm. Han was a shorter man with a scar across his face. His eyes were wide with worry. "Don't take this job," Han whispered. "Humans are from Earth. Earth is a death world." "A what?" Jun asked. "A death world. A planet that tries to kill everything on it. Gravity that crushes bones. Weather that changes in minutes. Animals that eat anything that moves. Diseases that can kill in days." Jun laughed. "And you believe that? Sounds like stories to scare children." "It's true," Han insisted. "And the creatures that evolve on such worlds are not like us. They are built to survive things we cannot imagine." Jun pulled his arm free. "The target looks like a soft, pink alien with no claws, no fangs, and no natural armor. How dangerous can it be?" Han shook his head. "There's a reason veteran killers don't take bounties on humans. There's a reason the pay is so high." Jun walked away, already planning his hunt. He had never failed before. His wall at home held trophies from 100 successful hunts. Soon, it would hold one more. Behind him, Cruel watched with his glowing eye. A smile crept across his face. He tapped a hidden button on his wrist, sending a message across the stars. "The bait has been taken. The hunter approaches." On a peaceful farming planet many light years away, the human named Park looked up at the sky. A small device on his wrist blinked with a new message. His face, so ordinary and harmless looking, hardened into something else. Something that showed why creatures from death worlds were feared throughout the galaxy. Jun sat in his ship, looking at the glowing screens around him. Each one showed information about humans and Earth. He had been reading for hours, and what he found made him uncomfortable. "Computer, show me Earth's gravity again," Jun said. Numbers appeared on the main screen. Earth's gravity was 1.5 times stronger than standard. Most aliens would find it hard to even stand up there. "Show me atmosphere." The screen changed to show charts of gases. Oxygen levels were high. Many species would find it toxic. The air pressure would crush the lungs of softer aliens. Weather patterns. Images flashed of storms with winds that could throw cars. Balls of ice falling from the sky. Water so cold it turned solid. Heat so intense it made the ground crack. June rubbed his eyes. Now show me the wildlife. The screen filled with creatures that made June's skin crawl. Tiny bugs that drank blood and spread disease. Flying animals with sharp beaks. Swimming beasts with rows of teeth. And the plants. Some had poisons that could kill with just a touch. And now the humans themselves. Data scrolled up the screen. Humans had dense muscles and strong bones. They could lift several times their body weight. They had 2 lungs, so they could still breathe if one was damaged. They had a thick skin that healed quickly. They had a liver that could filter poisons. And strangest of all, they had something called adrenaline, a chemical that made them stronger and faster when in danger. June sat back in his chair. Could this be true? It seemed too much. Maybe the data was wrong. Maybe someone had made a mistake when classifying Earth as a death world. Computer, show me the target's current location. The screen changed to show a small settlement on a farming planet. It was peaceful, with fields of grain and simple buildings. In one of these buildings, Park the human had set up a trading post. He bought farm goods and sold tools and supplies. The computer showed video of Park. He looked normal. He walked on 2 legs. He had 2 arms. His face showed no signs of being a killer or a monster. He smiled at his customers. He played games with local children. He drank with friends at night. June zoomed in on these videos. Yes, Park did seem stronger than he looked. He could lift heavy boxes easily. And yes, he seemed to never get tired. But these could be explained many ways. Maybe he came from a military background. Maybe he exercised a lot. This death world talk is nonsense, Jones said to himself. Han was trying to scare me away from a big payday. June started planning his attack. The trading post had few security measures. Park lived alone, though he had a small crew that helped with his business. According to the data, these crew members were away on a supply run. Park would be alone for the next 3 days. Perfect, Jum said. I'll use the special toxin that works on oxygen breathers. It will put him to sleep in seconds. Then I'll bring him to Cruel and collect my 10 million credits. June packed his gear. His ship's computer warned him one last time. Target is from classified death world. Extreme caution advised. June ignored it. He had hunted beings 3 times his size. He had caught creatures that could turn invisible. He had tracked targets that could read minds. How dangerous could one small human be? As his ship flew towards the farming planet, June did not see the message that passed between 2 distant stars. Hunter approaching. All is going according to plan. Prepare the test. The farming planet was green and blue, with wide fields and small towns. June's ship landed in a forest 5 miles from Park's trading post. No one saw him arrive. June wore plain clothes to blend in. He looked like just another trader. His weapons and tools were hidden inside his cybernetic arm. He carried a small bag with the special toxin. This will be easy, he said to himself. The walk to town took 1 hour. June watched the trading post from behind a grain storage building. The post was a simple wooden structure with a sign that read Park's Goods. Customers came and went all day. June studied Park through his enhanced eyes. The human was about 6 feet tall with broad shoulders. He had short black hair and brown eyes. He smiled often. He laughed with his customers. He looked so normal. But June noticed things others might miss. Park moved with unusual grace. His eyes constantly scanned his surroundings. When he lifted heavy boxes, his muscles barely strained. And most interesting of all, he seemed to always know when someone was watching him. Military training, June decided. Nothing more. As the sun set, the number of customers decreased. Soon, Park was alone in his shop, counting the day's earnings. June watched as Park locked the front door and went to the back room where he lived. June waited 2 more hours. The town grew quiet. Lights went out in windows. Then June made his move. Getting past the lock was simple. June's cybernetic fingers turned into small tools that picked the lock in seconds. He entered the shop silently, moving between shelves stocked with farming tools and household goods. The door to Park's living area was at the back. June approached it carefully, listening. He could hear Park moving around, preparing for sleep. June had the toxin ready in a small injector. One quick jab, and Park would be unconscious in seconds. June took a breath and opened the door. Park was sitting at a small table, drinking from a cup. He looked up, not surprised at all. "I've been expecting you," Park said calmly. June froze for a second, then launched himself at Park. His cybernetic arm extended, aiming the toxin injector at Park's neck. What happened next shocked June. Park moved with impossible speed. He ducked under June's arm and was suddenly behind him. June spun around, his enhanced reflexes barely keeping up. "Who sent you?" Park asked. His voice remained calm, but his eyes had changed. They were now cold and focused, like a predator's. June didn't answer. He attacked again, this time activating the hidden blade in his cybernetic arm. Park somehow knew it was coming. He stepped aside and grabbed June's arm, redirecting its momentum. June managed to scratch Park's arm with the toxin injector. He smiled. The fight would be over now. But Park didn't fall. He looked at the small wound on his arm and frowned. "That should have worked," June said in surprise. "On most species, yes," Park replied. "But humans process toxins differently." For the first time, June felt afraid. The toxin was strong enough to knock out a creature 3 times Park's size. Yet the human was still standing. June backed away. His plan had failed. He needed a new approach. He turned and ran, crashing through the shop and out into the night. Behind him, Park touched a small device on his wrist. "The first test is complete," he said. "Send the others. It's time to show him what humans can really do." June stumbled into his ship, breathing hard. Blood dripped from a cut on his face. His left arm hung at an odd angle, broken in 2 places. His cybernetic right arm sparked and twitched. One of his enhanced eyes showed only static. "Medical pod, activate," he gasped. The pod opened with a hiss. June fell into it, and it closed around him. Cool mist filled the pod as it began to scan and heal his injuries. "How?" June whispered to himself. "How did this happen?" The night had gone so wrong. After June ran from the shop, Park had followed. June thought he could outrun the human, but Park moved faster than seemed possible. What followed was not a fight. It was a lesson in pain. Park had moved like water, flowing around June's attacks. The human struck with precise blows that found weak spots June didn't know he had. When June pulled out hidden weapons, Park seemed to know they were coming. When June tried to use his cybernetic advantages, Park adapted instantly. "He should not have been that strong," June said to the empty ship. "He should not have been that fast." The worst part was that Park had not even seemed to be trying very hard. His breathing had remained steady. He had not sweated much. He had talked calmly throughout the fight, asking June questions, as if the battle was just a minor inconvenience. "Who are you working for?" Park had asked while dodging a knife strike. "Why target a human?" he had asked while blocking a kick. "Do you know what you've gotten yourself into?" he had asked before breaking June's arm. The medical pod beeped. Bones were mending. Cuts were closing. But the damage to June's cybernetics would need more than the pod could offer. June touched a control panel next to the pod. "Connect to Sue." The screen lit up, showing a woman with short hair. Sue was June's information broker. She knew things others didn't. "You look terrible," Sue said. "I need everything you have on humans," June said. "Not the basic data. The real information. The classified files." Sue raised an eyebrow. "That will be expensive." "I don't care. I need to know what I'm dealing with." Sue typed something on her end. "The bounty is for a human named Park, yes. I wondered if you'd take that job." "Not smart, June. Tell me why." Sue's face grew serious. The data you have is sanitized. The truth about humans is worse. Much worse. How so? They come from a planet that tried to kill them in a million ways. Their bodies are built to survive things that would kill most species. They have redundant systems. If one part fails, another takes over. June thought of the toxin that should have worked but didn't. But there's more, Sue continued. Their minds are their most dangerous weapon. They can ignore pain. They can push their bodies beyond normal limits. And they adapt. Oh, how they adapt. Sue sent a file to June's ship. This will cost you half your bounty if you survive to collect it. Study this. It might save your life. After Sue disconnected, Jun reviewed his ship's security footage of the fight. As he watched Park's movements, he noticed something he had missed before. After June had fled, Park had taken out a small device and spoken into it. June enhanced the audio. Yes, he came as expected, Park was saying. Alert Jin and Minna. Tell them to get here fast. We have a lot to teach this one. June felt a chill run through his body. Park had called for reinforcements. More humans were coming. For the first time in his career, June considered abandoning the hunt. June sat in his ship, reading the files Sue had sent. His body was mostly healed now. His cybernetic parts were repaired. But his mind was troubled by what he learned. Humans were not like other species. They evolved on a planet that wanted them dead. Their bodies told a story of endless battle against nature itself. Bones that can repair themselves, June read aloud. Skin that grows back. A heart that can beat faster when needed. Lungs that can work harder. And this thing called adrenaline. Adrenaline was like a superpower. When humans were in danger, their bodies released this chemical. It made them stronger and faster. It helped them ignore pain. It let them do things that seemed impossible. No wonder my toxin didn't work well, June muttered. Their bodies can fight off poisons. But it was not just their bodies that made humans dangerous. It was how they thought. Humans are pack hunters, the file explained. They work together. They plan. They use tools. And they never, ever give up. June's ship computer beeped with an alert. A small transport ship had landed near the town. June checked the scanner. 2 life forms had exited the ship. Their biosigns matched humans. Park's backup has arrived, June said. He accessed the town's security cameras. They were simple and easy to hack. Soon he could see the new humans walking through town. One was a tall male with wide shoulders. He moved with the same alertness that Park had shown. His name was Jin, according to what Park had said. The other was a female, shorter but with strong arms and legs. She carried a bag over her shoulder that looked heavy, yet she moved as if it weighed nothing. This must be Mina. The 2 humans met Park at his shop. They talked for a long time. June couldn't hear what they said, but they looked serious. They were planning something. June knew he needed a new approach. Fighting 1 human had gone badly. Fighting 3 would be worse. He needed help. Computer, show me local mercenaries for hire, June said. The screen displayed several options. June picked the best group. 12 fighters led by a 4-armed alien named Grek. They had good weapons and armor. They had worked together for years. For the right price, they would help June capture the humans. June sent them a message with his offer. Half the bounty in exchange for their help. Grek accepted within minutes. As June waited for night to fall, he watched the humans through the cameras. They were checking the town's layout. They were setting up small devices at different points, probably sensors or alarms. They were preparing for an attack. They know I'll come back, June realized. They're ready for me. But June would be ready too. With 12 mercenaries plus himself, they would overwhelm the humans with numbers and firepower. It would not be a fair fight. But June didn't care about fair. He cared about winning. As the sun set, Grek and his team arrived at June's ship. They'd brought extra weapons and armor. They looked confident. So we're hunting humans? Grek asked. Easy money. They're soft creatures with no natural weapons. June showed them his injuries, now healed. Do not underestimate them. They are stronger than they look. They are faster than they should be. And they fight like they have nothing to lose. Greg laughed. There are 15 of us, and 3 of them. What could go wrong? June didn't answer. He was wondering the same thing. In Park's shop, the 3 humans finished their preparations. Park looked out the window at the darkening sky. They're coming, he said. Good. Let's show them why people fear Deathworlders. Night covered the small town in darkness. Clouds blocked the stars and moons. June led his team through the shadows toward Park's shop. Greg and his 12 mercenaries moved silently, weapons ready. Remember the plan, June whispered. Team 1 cuts the power. Team 2 covers the back door. Team 3 comes with me through the front. We use stun weapons first. We need them alive. The mercenaries nodded. They had done jobs like this before. They were not worried. Humans are weak, one whispered. This will be easy money. June was not so sure. The memory of his fight with Park still burned in his mind. Team 1 reached the power box and cut the wires. The shop went dark. June gave the signal, and his team moved forward. They were 10 steps from the front door when the world exploded into chaos. Hidden lights flashed on, blinding them. A high-pitched sound hurt their ears, and worst of all, the humans were not in the shop. They were outside, behind June's team. Hello again. Park's voice came from the darkness. The mercenaries spun around, firing their weapons. Bright beams cut through the night, but they hit nothing. The humans moved too fast, staying in the shadows. One by one, the mercenaries began to fall. Jin appeared from nowhere, striking with hands and feet. His moves were precise and deadly. 2 mercenaries dropped before they could even turn. Mina was even worse. She used the environment as a weapon. She threw dirt and ice, used poles as spears, and turned the mercenaries' own weight against them. She moved like she had practiced fighting her whole life. And Park was a nightmare. He seemed to know what the attackers would do before they did it. He was always 1 step ahead, never where the weapons fired, always where he could do the most damage. Fall back, Greg shouted. Regroup at position 2. But there was no falling back. The humans had cut off their escape routes. The mercenaries were trapped in the small area in front of the shop. June watched in horror as his plan fell apart. These were not normal fighters. These were creatures born on a world that had tried to kill them for thousands of years. Their bodies and minds were weapons shaped by endless danger. Mina took a hit from a stun weapon. She dropped to 1 knee. But instead of falling unconscious like any normal being would, she stood back up. Her eyes were angry now. She moved toward the mercenary who had shot her. How is she still standing? The mercenary cried out before Mina reached him. Jin fought 5 attackers at once. He used one as a shield against another's weapon. He twisted a third's arm until it broke. The other 2 tried to run, but Jin was faster. June aimed his best weapon at Park. It was designed to penetrate armor. Park should not have been able to dodge it. But somehow he did. The beam hit a wall behind him, melting metal. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, Park said. His voice was calm, as if he was having a normal conversation. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. Nothing you can do compares to what we've already survived. Mercenaries were running now, dropping weapons, forgetting about payment. They just wanted to live. June saw Greg fall, all 4 arms broken. June backed away, looking for an escape route. This had been a mistake, a terrible mistake. The bounty was not worth this. As he turned to run, Park's voice followed him. Tell your employer we're coming for him next. No one hunts humans without consequences. June ran faster than he ever had before. June ran through the dark fields outside town. His breath came in short gasps. His legs burned. Fear pushed him forward. For the first time in his life, June knew what it felt like to be prey. He reached his ship and slammed his hand on the access panel. The door should have opened instantly. It did not. "No," June whispered. He tried again. Nothing happened. A small light blinked on the panel. Someone had tampered with it. June pulled open the emergency access panel and typed in his override code. The door opened with a slow hiss. Inside, the ship was dark. Emergency lights cast red shadows. June moved quickly to the control panel. He needed to leave this planet immediately. The screens lit up, but with a message June did not want to see. Engine start sequence. Denied. They've been here, June realized. They've sabotaged my ship. A message appeared on the main screen. It was from Cruel, the alien who had posted the bounty. "June," the message read, "by now you know you cannot capture the human. That was never the point. Let me explain what is really happening." June read the message with growing horror. Park was not a criminal. He was a diplomat from Earth. The bounty was a trap designed to identify assassins who might target important human officials. "Why me?" June asked the empty ship. The answer came in the next line. "You are the best hunter in the sector. If anyone could catch a human, it would be you. Your failure proves our point. Humans cannot be hunted." June heard a sound outside his ship. He checked the external cameras. Nothing was there, but June knew better. The humans were coming. He grabbed his emergency pack and weapons. There was a small escape pod at the back of his ship. If he could reach it, he might still get away. As June moved through the ship, he noticed signs of the humans' visit. They had been methodical, disabling systems but not destroying them. They had left his life support and emergency power intact. They wanted him alive. June reached the escape pod and climbed inside. As the door sealed, he heard something moving in his ship. They were already inside. The pod launched with a violent jolt. June watched his ship shrink behind him as the pod flew into the night sky. For a moment, he thought he had escaped. Then the pod's controls flashed red. A message appeared. "Autopilot engage. Return to launch point initiated." "No," June shouted. He tried to override the controls, but nothing worked. The humans had thought of everything. The pod turned in the air and began descending back toward the planet, back toward the humans. June received another message, this one from Park directly. "Did you think we wouldn't check your escape pod? Humans always have a backup plan for their backup plans. It's how we survived Earth." As the pod descended, June looked out the window. He could see 3 figures standing in a field, waiting. Their faces were lit by the pod's lights as it came down. Park stood in the center, calm and patient. Jin was on his right, arms crossed. Mina was on his left, checking something on a small device. The pod landed softly. The door opened. June stayed inside, his weapon pointed at the opening. "You have 2 choices," Park called out. "Come out and talk, or stay in there until the air runs out. We've disabled the life support too." June calculated his options. He could fight and die, or he could surrender and maybe live. "Why haven't you killed me yet?" June asked. Park's answer was simple. "Because that's not what humans do first. We talk before we fight. We offer peace before war. It's another thing that helped us survive." Slowly, June lowered his weapon. June stepped out of the escape pod, his hands raised. The night air was cool on his face. The 3 humans stood 20 feet away, watching him carefully. "Wise choice," Park said. June looked at his ship in the distance. His mind raced, calculating escape routes and fighting chances. The odds were bad. "Don't try it," Jin said, as if reading June's thoughts. "You've seen what one of us can do. You don't want to face all 3. Mina tossed something to June. He caught it reflexively. It was a small medical kit. "For your cuts," she said. "You're bleeding." June hadn't even noticed the cuts on his arms from the escape pod launch. He was confused by this small kindness. "Why help me when you're going to kill me anyway?" June asked. "Who said we're going to kill you?" Park replied. "If we wanted you dead, you would be all ready. The humans led June to an abandoned building at the edge of town. It had once been a storage facility for farm equipment. Now it was empty except for some crates and old machinery. Inside, Jin turned on lights powered by a portable generator. Mina checked the perimeter, moving with silent efficiency. Park gestured for June to sit on a crate. "Let's talk," Park said. June remained standing. "About what?" "How humans are so superior. How you tricked me." "About why killers like you should never target humans," Park answered. His voice was calm but firm. "About why there are warnings throughout the galaxy. Do not hunt Deathworlders." June's hand moved slowly toward a hidden weapon in his boot. Before his fingers touched it, Jin was beside him, gripping his wrist. June had not seen him move. "Don't," Jin said simply. June froze. The strength in Jin's grip was frightening. June had fought creatures 3 times his size that weren't this strong. "Your cybernetic enhancements are impressive," Park said, walking around June. "But they're just tools. Our bodies evolved over millions of years on a planet that tried to kill us every day. Why tell me this? Why not just finish the job?" June asked. Mina returned from checking the perimeter. "Because humans don't just survive. We learn and adapt. And we want others to learn too." In a sudden movement, June broke free from Jin's grip and pulled out his last weapon, a small but powerful energy pistol. He fired at Park. What happened next seemed impossible. Park moved sideways faster than June could track. The energy beam hit a metal container behind him, melting it. Jin knocked the weapon from June's hand with a strike so fast it blurred. Mina circled behind him, cutting off his escape. "That was your last mistake," Park said, still calm. "But notice, you're still alive." June stood there, breathing hard. He had used his best move, his fastest attack, and it had failed completely. "How?" June whispered. "How are you this fast? This strong?" "Adrenaline," Jin said. "When we're in danger, our bodies release chemicals that make us faster and stronger. And our brains," Mina added, "we can process information quickly when threatened. Time seems to slow down for us." Park nodded. "Plus thousands of years of warfare. Humans have been fighting each other and their environment for their entire history. We became very, very good at it." June finally understood. These weren't just aliens with tough bodies. These were perfect survival machines, shaped by a deadly world into something terrifying. "We could have killed you at any time," Park said. "But that's not why we're here." "Then why?" June asked. "Because we have a better offer for you," Park replied. Park looked June directly in the eyes. "We want you to work for us." June blinked in surprise. "Work for humans? After I tried to capture you?" "Yes," Park nodded. "You're skilled. You have contacts. You know how the criminal world operates. You can help us identify threats before they become problems." Jin stood nearby, arms crossed. "Many species still think humans are weak. They don't understand what we are. This leads to mistakes. Mistakes like the bounty on Park," Mina added. June considered their offer. Working for humans was not what he had expected when he took this job. But then again, nothing about this hunt had gone as expected. "What if I refuse?" June asked. "Then we let you go," Park said simply. "But we keep your ship and weapons, and we spread the word about what happened here." June understood the implications. No one would hire a hunter who failed so completely. His reputation would be destroyed. "And if I accept?" June asked. "You get paid well, you keep your ship, and you help prevent unnecessary violence," Park explained. "You'll be our eyes and ears in places humans cannot easily go." June thought about everything he had learned about humans. They were not just physically dangerous. They were smart. They planned ahead. They thought differently than other species. "I accept," June said finally. "But I have questions." "Ask," Park said. "Was Kroll working with you all along?" June asked. Park nodded. Cruel is an ally. The bounty was a test. We needed to know who would hunt humans and how good they were. And the other hunters who took the bounty? Jun asked. None got as far as you did, Jin said. You were the best. That's why we want you working for us, not against us. Minna handed Jun a small device. This is how you'll contact us. The signal cannot be tracked. The next day, Jun's ship was returned to him, fully repaired. The humans had even improved some of his systems. As he prepared to leave the planet, Park came to see him off. Remember our agreement, Park said. Watch for threats, warn us, and spread the word quietly. Humans are not to be hunted. Jun nodded. I'll make sure everyone knows, without revealing our arrangement. Good, Park said, because the next hunter might not be as lucky as you were. As Jun's ship lifted off, he thought about how he would explain what happened. He decided on the truth, or part of it. In the following weeks, Jun spoke quietly to contacts across the galaxy. In bars and trading posts, he told his story, how he had hunted a human and failed, how he had learned why Earth was called a death world, how humans were not what they seemed. They look soft, but they come from a planet that tried to kill them every day, Jun would say, showing his scars. Their bodies and minds are weapons shaped by evolution. They can break your bones with their bare hands. They can run for days without rest. They can survive injuries that would kill most species. Slowly, a new saying spread through the criminal underworld. Even veteran killers run when Deathworlders arrive. Jun kept his promise to the humans. He watched for threats and sent warnings. He steered hunters away from human targets, and when he heard of someone brave or foolish enough to hunt a human anyway, he would shake his head and say, I hope you're ready to find out why creatures from Deathworlds are the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. In his private moments, Jun would sometimes look at Earth on star charts. Such a small planet, hidden in an ordinary solar system. Who would have guessed that it would produce a species that could make the galaxy's most feared assassin turn away from a 10 million credit bounty? Jun had learned his lesson. Some prey is best left unhunted.